Afterwards. He's just
Okay.
Afternoon. Yeah.
Free to win.
Good.
3 goals. Yeah, they were good.
As usual, have simultaneous translation for those who require. Vinny?
Sure. Arne, Thomas Frank said after the weekend that you're a level above Manchester City, you're a level above Arsenal, and went on to say probably also the best team in the world, which I suppose is easy to say when you're 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League and 3 points clear at the top of the Champions League standings as well. But what do you think? Are you the best team in the world at the moment?
His opinion means definitely something to me because he's shown at Brentford how well he's done. So many years for this club and without spending crazy amount of money, just every time he's able to perform with his teams very good in the Premier League and make it so hard for every top 5, top 6 team to play against them. So his opinion definitely means something to me, but I think it's far too early for me to say these things. We have to face a lot of teams. Champions League format this season is also difficult. Can we judge the league table in the Champions League? Because every team faced different teams. So you can be lucky or not with the draw you had. I don't think we were lucky though, but so very difficult to judge the league table, but always nice to get compliments from a manager that has proven to be such a good manager here in the Premier League.
Can I ask you again about Darwin as well? Because everyone saw how happy the rest of the group was that he got those 2 goals at the weekend as well. But as you admitted, on Saturday, he could have been sent off as well. As a coach, do you quite know what you're going to get from Darwin all of the time? And how do you manage that?
I'm almost happy that you asked me this question because he would have been sent off after the 2-0. So that not everybody is saying that's why they won and they were lucky, blah, blah, blah. No, I can come up with a few decisions that went against us where we didn't get the points maybe, but let's not get into that. So then your next question was, because I only want to focus on that.
No, I mean, do you quite know what you're going to get from Darwin all the time and how do you manage that?
I think it's with the most difficult in football is to find for a team, but also as an individual to find consistency. And only a few players in the world are able to be at the same level every 3 days in a row. And then there's a big group of players that are able to play very good many times, but not every single time. And I think we have, he's one of the players that belongs to the group that is good many times. But next step for him would be nice if he can go into the bracket of the 5, 6, 7 or 8 players in the world that are every 3 days outstanding. And I do know we have also 1 or 2 or a few players that are every 3 days of a very high standard. And it's a nice challenge for him to go to that group of players as well.
And you can pretty much secure top spot in the Champions League standings with victory. I mean, what importance do you put on finishing top of those Champions League standings before the knockout phase?
The most important thing every time we go out there, especially in front of our own fans, we want to win a game. And with this new setup, you think that ending up number 1 is the best position to end up with. But because it's such a strange league table, because, for example, I think I'm right. If I look at Paris Saint-Germain, every week I think they have the hardest team to face. So they are quite low on the table, which is not their quality, but they are low. So maybe if you end up number 1, you can face them. So then it's a disadvantage. So I'm not looking at the league table in a way of, if we are number 1, we probably have the most easy team to face, because that is impossible to say because of this weird format, or weird, I don't mean it in a negative way, but a strange format we are having now. So being on top maybe doesn't tell you that you're the best team. Being number 24 doesn't tell you that you're number 24 in terms of quality. It's a lot of has to do with the teams you've faced. So yeah, we want to win, but not from an idea about that will probably give us then the best lead up for the rest of the campaign.
Microphone that way. Hang on, speak to the microphone, please. Sorry.
Sorry, Hervé Penaud from L'Équipe. What do you think of Lille performances so far in this Champions League? Are you surprised by the way they play and the teams they've beaten?
I'm impressed. Not surprised, but impressed. Not surprised because I think it was 2 or 3 years ago that I played the current manager when he was at Rennes with my former club. And then I was impressed by the way his team played. And yes, of course, a few weeks ago when I didn't saw them playing yet, I was like, oh, they beat Atletico Madrid. Surprise. They beat Real Madrid. Surprise. But now, of course, I saw many games of them, and now I'm definitely not surprised anymore, but impressed because they've deserved every single point they got till now. And I just said something about the league table. For them, it's definitely not because they faced easy competition. They faced Sporting Lisbon when Amorim was still there, and they were impossible to beat Sporting Lisbon. They lost that one, but they faced them. They faced Juve, they faced Atletico Madrid, they faced Real Madrid. And now they are facing us. And the next game is going to be difficult for them as well, because then they face Feyenoord, which is my former club, if you didn't know. So they haven't been lucky with the fixtures they had. So that's the reason why I'm so impressed with them in the Champions League, and an unbeaten run of 21 games probably tells you even more.
This James.
Hi, Arne. You've mentioned a few times about the strange league table in the Champions League. I wonder, do you think this new format has been a success in terms of revamping the Champions League? And maybe does it show that there's a far more even spread of quality in Europe than perhaps we thought previously?
I said many times already, because almost every game you play Champions League, you get this question about what are your experiences about the new format. It's difficult to judge as long as the season is still going. I think one of the positives is, especially for the teams that are in pot 3 and 4, that they also face teams from their own pot. Is pot the way you say it? From their own, and that gives them a bigger chance, of course, to win games. So in the old format, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. And as a pot 4 team, you always faced 3, 2, and 1. So it was not always easy to win a game. And now they have 2 games against equal opposition as well. So for those teams, I'm 100% sure they feel it's a step up. For the teams that were always in pot 1, I have to wait and see to give you an honest opinion what I would prefer. But what I've said, and that's what I mean, you cannot judge the league table and say, okay, this is the best team in Europe, this is the second best team, this is the third best team, because we haven't played against the same teams. And in a draw, that's in the FA Cup, League Cup, that's in every draw, you can be lucky or you can be unlucky with the draw you have. And that's why it's easier to win a cup competition than to win a league, because you can have the advantage of a lucky draw.
Paul Joyce.
Arne, you've been very clear that performance levels have been improving, and certainly attacking output has increased specifically over the last couple of months. What do you put that down to? Why is that? Is it?
No, I think I said that our performance stats, so in terms of running, have increased, especially in the Brentford game, because it was a tough game, because Brentford is a team that's really fit as well. One of the reasons why they're so successful. You tell me now that our attacking stats have gone up. Probably true. I think we've scored more goals in the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games than we did before, but we've conceded a few as well. So we needed these goals maybe more than in the beginning of the season. So I don't really see an argument where I can come up with why that has changed. The only thing I can say is that we are working longer together with the team, and we know even better what we want when we have the ball, but we also need to know better what we want without the ball. But we do concede more, so it's not always a straight line going up or going down. It's always a bit like this.
And I just wondered, do you think the team's got a lot of confidence from the wins against Bayer Leverkusen and Real Madrid, because they were the German champions, the Spanish champions, and holders of the Champions League? Do you think the team grew from those games?
Yeah, my answer is then always the same. We're here, you're here at the press conference from Liverpool. So these players are used to winning big games. So I don't think they need games like this to grow in self-confidence from, okay, we can beat these teams now all of a sudden. I do understand that last season in the Europa League, we were not in the Champions League, so the club didn't face the same competition maybe as you have in the Champions League. But the years before, and at their national team and playing in the Premier League, these players are not impressed by a win against Leverkusen or a win against Real Madrid. That's not something special for them. They've done that so many times that they like it and they're happy with it. But I don't see anything 5 minutes after the game. I already see like, oh, I can see I'm at Liverpool here, because if we would have beaten with Feyenoord Real Madrid, then there was a big party in the dressing room. But here, everybody's 5 minutes later already thinking about recovery and making sure that they're ready for the next game.
Gentleman in front.
Hi, Jérémy Talbot from AFP. Going back to Lille and their manager, what are their main strengths for you? And are you expecting a low block or maybe a more open game tomorrow?
It is difficult for me to answer that question, because many managers have changed their game plan against us compared to the games they've played before in the last few months. But if I just look at them, how they've played against in the last games and what their playing style is, I'm expecting an open game tomorrow, because they are pressing every team. If it's Olympique Marseille or Real Madrid or whatever team they face, they just press them high. They are not afraid to bring the ball out from the back. So for us, it's going to be a change of styles compared to the recent teams we faced. Although Brentford also wanted to press us really high, but also afterwards went to a real low block. But many teams, the 3 or 4 teams we faced before, didn't want to bring the ball out from the back. And that's what Lille is doing. That's what they're really good at. So that's what I expect. But I expected that from a few teams we faced in the last 3 or 4 games as well. But they changed their game plan against us. So you have to ask their manager if he's planning to play the same style or if he's planning to change it.
Andy Gonze.
Hi, Arne. I know it's not the most important thing to you, but having the only 100% record in the Champions League now, is that a badge of honour for you and for the team, and a motivation to keep it going until the end as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Not that we've had them, but it is a motivation that we want to keep it going till the end. We want to win every single game we go out there. But it's not because of we just want to end top 8. And we know we need a point for that, but this team has never gone out playing for a point. There was just a second ago a question about what I expect from Lille. I expect something, and you guys know what you can expect from Liverpool, and that has been in every single game we've played. If we've been at Old Trafford or at Arsenal, wherever we played, we've tried to play our own style, and we've never adapted the style, sometimes in small details, but never the style of high press, of bringing the ball out from the back and to do the things we are good at. So yeah, that's what we want to try to do tomorrow again. We always play for a win, and that's also what we're going to try to do tomorrow. But we know the difficult challenge it is because of the quality and the form Lille is in.
James Pearce.
Arne, do you know yet the situation with Diogo? Obviously, he missed the weekend. How long you expected to be without him, and how close is Joe Gomez to coming back into the fold?
Maybe Jot a bit earlier than Joe, and both of them are expected to be back with us in weeks, not in months. So, but I've said many times before that the last stage of rehab is the most difficult one, and the one that can sometimes add a few days or not. But it's clear that we are expecting them to be back with us in the upcoming weeks. But it's always difficult to say exactly how long it is. But both of them are not going to be out for months, that's for sure. As long as the rehab goes as planned, of course.
What has Diogo done?
He overloaded a certain muscle a bit.
Well,
I just asked about Ryan Gravenberch. He started every Champions League and Premier League game this season. The second half of the season is managing his minutes going to be important, given that you haven't got someone like for like to come in and replace him?
Maybe we don't have someone that is exactly similar to Ryan, but I think that is almost for all of them. So Dom is unique in his own way. Mo is unique in his own way. We have, of course, Cody Gakpo, but I don't see him similar to Lucio. Similar position, but not similar style of player. So every player we have is unique in his own way. That's Ryan. For Ryan is the same thing. And we have players like Wata who can play there. Maka can play there. He played there against Forest in the last half hour. And even Curtis Jones can play there. But there's always a balance. If you play them a lot and all of a sudden you drop points, you play them too much. And if they keep doing well, everybody's saying, yeah, the secret to success is that they always play with the same. And I've said many times already, it's not about playing at 12, 15. It's not about these things. It's about the competition you face and do we play to our standards. But I understand that to make it a bit more simple for everyone to understand, it's about they play too much or too little. That is something we accept.
Carl at the front.
With Diogo being out for a few weeks still, you say, is this the opportunity Darwin needs for a bit of a longer run in the team on the back of the confidence he got from the weekend?
I don't think it's the first time that he's in a situation like this. Even this season, he's been in a situation like Jota has been out when in the Chelsea game someone hit him so hard that he was out for 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, I think. So that was a similar moment. And I know from the past that he's had long run of games with Jurgen as well. But he is probably, as you guys say, in a good place now because he scored 2. And so, yeah, of course, it's simple. At the moment, we've got 4 attackers that are top fit and able to start the game. And Darwin is one of them, and then the 5th one is Federico, and the 6th one is he's not ready to start 90 yet, in my opinion, but he's coming closer and closer to be able to do so. The reason why he isn't because he hasn't had many minutes yet, so it's not about him, it's about me not giving him so many minutes. So that's difficult for him then all of a sudden go from 5 minutes to 90 minutes. So yeah, that increases the chance for Darwin, of course, to get more playing time if one of the 6 is injured, and especially if it's a number 9.
Mo.
Hi, Arne. You mentioned there that Chiesa's still not quite at his level to be able to start 90 minutes. And obviously Liverpool were very cautious with Diogo Jota and trying to make sure he didn't come back too soon, and yet he still managed to break down. Does that situation mean you're more likely to be even more cautious with Federico, or do you think it's not necessarily one affecting the other?
No, not one affecting it. Every player is unique in its own way, and everyone has his own background, which I mean, Jota had a normal pre-season, or not normal because he was at Euros, I think they were in the summer. Yeah. So he didn't have a long pre-season, but he had a normal start with us where Federico didn't. Federico was a few times unlucky with when moments were there for him to play that he was ill or sick. And then I think we all also saw how difficult it is. With Jota is a great example of that. If a player has been out for 5, 6 or 7 weeks, to bring him back to that load of playing every single game 60 to 90 minutes, you have to be really careful with that if you don't want to go into another injury. And especially because there's no winter break, there's no time to give them during the week a game, unless I have to play them with the under-21s, but I don't think a player like Federico Chiesa, Diogo Jota should play in those games. So that makes it hard if a player is injured to bring them back. And some players are so clear starters for me, I just give them their first minutes in the first team. One of them is coming immediately after me. Ibu Konate played 5 weeks out, played immediately against United because he's such a vital part of our team. But unfortunately for Federico, he has Mo Salah in front of him, so he doesn't have the similar status or hierarchy as Ibu Konate had. So that makes it hard for us to build him up in the right way, but I'm happy that he had a good 30 to 45 minutes against Accrington Stanley. And although it was 5 minutes, he was part of the team that scored 2 goals, and he was really happy with it, what I saw as well.
Well done. Thank you.